he says if I die, he's going with me.
Yeah.
So, which would be tragic. I feel like the person should be your cherry, not the cake, but he feels like it's, this world is his everything.
Hey everyone, I'm Denisa Tova, host of Beyond Your Bar podcast. And I have very special guests here with me today, Caroline Stanbury and Sergio Carrallo. And you know them from Bravo. And Caroline was an original cast member of Ladies of London. Then she took us all to the desert on The Real Housewives of Dubai alongside Sergio, her husband. And before Dubai, Sergio spent about 6 years or so inside Real Madrid and then played in New York. Very topical these days. So Caroline has built many companies and they continue to build more. She also hosts her own podcast, Uncut and Uncensored podcast. So they're definitely not strangers to the show. And together they continue to build a brand, a house, and a life in Dubai. And, as I explained to them earlier, I'm not interested in headlines. The premise of the show is beyond the bar. So we go beyond the fame, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know this power couple. So Caroline and Sergio, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Hi.
So, you guys have such a chill energy. And, I'm curious, what makes you really laugh?
Well, we're anything but chilled. We've literally just run from lunch. We're in Saint-Tropez right now, and everything makes us laugh. I mean, just now makes us laugh because we were upstairs having thrown ourselves on the bed, and I was looking for my glasses, and instead of my actual glasses, I put his sunglasses on. And he was videoing me because I hadn't realized they're his sunglasses. I thought they were my actual glasses. So just stupid things all day long. We have a very, very sort of childlike relationship, I suppose.
Yeah, we're always trying to just, don't take it too seriously and always, trying to make fun of each other and, laughing together.
I think it's so important. I think people who do take themselves seriously, there's almost something suspicious. I think that's really great. And so, having conflict, getting into a little bit of an argument, people who claim they never do, I think that's bullshit. So how do you guys handle one? Do you need to sort of like sit on it, or do you have the need to just nip it in the butt and just talk about it and resolve it right away?
I think it's important first to say that we work together as well as live together. Plus, we have 3 teenage children. We have 3 dogs. We run about 9 different companies together. So, of course, we argue. Everybody argues. But we argue in a way that, I explode. He's a lot calmer than me.
I think I would say because of the age gap and also because of how we are as people, she's much more, like a roller coaster, literally. She will explode within a moment, and 5 minutes after, she will be okay.
I'm over it. And he's traumatized.
And I'm traumatized for the experience. So we kind of just try to understand each other and balance those moments. So I know when anything happens, I will just, let her be. And then I come back 5 minutes after and she's going to be okay. But, I think it just takes time to get to know each other. And people that doesn't know Caroline, they're like, oh my God, how are you handling her? But in reality, it's quite easy when you get to know her.
The ones that know me, like my assistant in the house that you guys have probably been dealing with, she's been with me since she's 19. She's 31 now.
Wow.
So, my housekeepers have been with me 12 years. So, the people that know me, my head spins off. But most people stay and understand me eventually. And also with the pressure that we have, I think it's normal. I think it would be very weird if your head doesn't sometimes spin off.
And also, even though if it's a spin-off, we know that there is always, a solution. Either if it's for business, relationship, or anything that happened in our lives, we know there is always a way. And I think that's the only way to, to go through life. And we apply the same principle. And that's why I think we work very well.
We never fight with the intent to break up. That's not what we're discussing. So normally our fight's about, I don't know, pressure of a million things that we do, but that's it.
Yeah, I relate to what you're saying. Me and my husband, this is a second relationship, and there's one understanding: you never go to bed, you never go to sleep angry, and there's always this knowing that you'll always come back together.
Yeah.
To each other. Yeah, and it's amazing. You get to a certain age. I mean, I turned 52, and I like to say that I joined the I Don't Give a Club, and there's so many things that used to matter that do not. And I bet that comes into play for you as well, right?
Well, we just had my 50th birthday here in south of France with all our friends and had a wonderful time. And I have to say, I've been through quite a lot in my 50 years, but also
I've been through a lot as well in my 30 years, but yeah.
also just being together, obviously, because when we
Yeah.
met, he was 24 and I was 43. So we've been through quite a lot to get here. So to say that we don't give a beat would be true too. We really, really don't. And we've heard everything about ourselves and each other and horrible things that, people love to say when they don't understand something.
Yeah, I think the most important I would say is the foundation. When the foundation is strong and you really share the same values, this is untouchable. And I think that's what we have. Like no matter what happened on the outside bubble, the inside is just so well protected and taken care of that no one can,
We don't wish to be anywhere else, and we don't listen to we don't really listen. We don't like gossip about other people. We don't really listen to it about ourselves.
Good for you. And you're modeling that for your children too.
Yes. Yeah. My children are very, very sort of strong, I would say powerful individuals, and they're very individual and they're very cool. And, they get, teased with our TikToks and the stuff that we have to do for attention and the things that how we run our businesses. And that's what you do today to stand out, right? And of course they get a lot of like, oh, look at your mom. Oh, look at the toy boy or whatever it is. And now they don't even read it. They don't care because, we're laughing. We have a great family.
Even just literally the day before yesterday, there was all this news about Caroline's birthday. And I was so excited reading about it. I see at the end, Sergio got Toy Boy. And I'm like, oh my God, they just, so it's just like part of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll always be my toy boy, let's face it.
Why not? You embrace it. Yeah.
Look, I take it 100%. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you normalize it. It's, and it's something that you said, Sergio, is that when people don't understand, when they don't understand something, they sort of lash out. It's not about you. It's not about you too. People like to project, and it's usually people who are miserable or unhappy in their own lives, and they reflect that mirror of that ugliness or sadness, from the outside. Yeah. Well, good for you. So Caroline, I'm interested in your story. I mean, who were you before, before what you do today, who you are today?
Well, I think I've always been a businesswoman. That was how I started. I had a big luxury internet company. I had a styling business where I looked after some of the most powerful people in the world. I fulfilled sort of like crazy dreams for people. So like, gifting for the super rich. So like someone would say they wanted this ridiculous princess castle built into a tree for their daughter. I would produce it. One man wanted a see-through safe made so he could see his gold bullion bars. So you know what I mean? I made crazy things come to life, pink diamond watches, all of this. And that's how I built a really strong client base and people that really trusted my opinion as a tastemaker, I suppose. And from there, that had also led me into, because if you're choosing gifts and things for their home and helping do homes and all of that, really it's styling too. So I put people in, and I had a styling business where we did, very, very high net, cash rich, time poor women. So I've always been in fashion and homes and, I guess luxury lifestyle. So where I am right now isn't such a step away. The step away was the TV, and the TV only really came when I had a company, with so many, I think we were 87 employees in 75 countries, turning over gazillions at the time. How do I go to America was my thought. I could get a billboard or I can go on Housewives, and that's what happened.
So let's go back to when you were a young little girl. What were you into? I mean, you were obviously extremely entrepreneurial, and you had built a sort of a hyper niche, but it's based on, I love the word tastemaker. It's making sort of a turning people's dreams into reality. What were you into that led you to that?
I don't think it was that, actually. I think it was, I went to boarding school from the age of 6.
Okay.
British boarding school, which if anyone's ever been will tell you it's a bit like going to the military.
Yeah.
And so I went for a very long time, well, from 6 to 18, that's many years.
Yeah.
And, in those days, you didn't come out much, and it was very tough. I don't think half the things that went on then are allowed now. But I think you become hyper independent, and you understand that you go into different worlds. You sort of dream about what you're going to do. It's so funny when I hear Paris Hilton talk about her experiences, because it's very similar, even though, it wasn't as harsh as hers, obviously, but, it's very similar, because you grow up going, I'm never going to be controlled by anyone. I'm always going to make my own money. I will never have to, to say yes to things that I don't want to do again. And that's exactly what I did. So what I became was a people pleaser. I was the one that showed everyone around the school. I was the one all the parents wanted to meet. I was like everyone goes, oh, everybody liked me. I was friends with the older girls. I had nice things. Always liked nice things. And I think, I would not eat for a week or whatever, just to go out and to buy the handbag I wanted. And I've never really changed. I have been independent my whole life. I wanted certain things, but I wanted to pay for them myself. And that's what really drove me, I think, to be the way I am. And then people have always seemed to like my style. So I guess I may have inherited that from my mother. She has a beautiful style, and she's got beautiful homes, and I guess she's chic. So maybe I got that part from her.
That's incredible. So it was almost like a means to survive, the tough stuff, and you certainly found your way, and then turned it into great success, and it's part of your identity. Authentically is who you are, except you're independent.
Yes, you can put me in any room, in any place, and I will swim. And I think that's what I have done over the years. And that's what I do on the women's retreats. I teach women, because more than your CV today, it's the confidence and being able to put yourself into a room and talk to anyone. That is the most important thing, I think, to get ahead today or anytime.
Wow, you're so spot on, the communication skills. It's almost like, and I see that with men too, at these professional, business networking events, is, it's like a mad dash to a bar, right? I have to numb myself in order to utter a sentence, and it's sad. And I think it's so important, so important. Yeah, wow. Sergio, so all I know is that you were about 13 when football, I should say soccer. I'm from Europe. I was born and raised in Europe, so it was soccer. It took over your life, right?
Yeah, so I'm from Madrid, Spain. I come from a very, traditional conservative family. Always been very driven since very early age. But yeah, basically my life changed, I would say around, 14 to 15 years old, because, Real Madrid kind of like, put their eyes on me, follow me for a little bit. And then, at 15, I became professional, a professional footballer. So basically, I couldn't really go to normal school. I couldn't really have any normal childhood. I didn't drink until I was like 20 something. So it was all just, soccer, soccer, soccer. And, I was lucky enough to have always my family there supporting me. And then, since, I mean, I will never forget when I got my first money from football because I really didn't need it. I started investing, putting here, little startups, tech things, but I always been very driven. I knew I didn't want to have a normal life. I knew I didn't want to be, just like any other, traditional Spanish, kid, like any of my friends. So even though I had soccer, I always was looking for, other things as well. And I think, I got to an age around 20 years old that, I kind of, was a bit tired of Europe and I moved to the US. And even then I was willing to hustle back again. So, always trying to find, different things that really, I feel passionate about, so, very driven, started doing little investments. And when I met Caroline, I was, doing all these things, in Latin America and traveling the world. So, but, I just really knew I wanted to hustle and I just need that inside me. And I think that's something that we really share and we have in common, that we just love the hustle and we love to have a vision and really try to find a way to make it happen,
I think what interests people the most is how we got 23 and 43 to 24 and 43 to work. And that's what I always said, even if you're not at the time financially matched, it didn't matter if it's about the person, right? When people are interested, if you both have the same end game, you both have the same work ethic, is so important. You can build anyone or anything into something you want if you both have the same goals and you are both prepared to work for it. If one of you's working for it and the other one's lazy, forget about it.
The most important I would say is, we, no matter, even though we have 19 years age gap and, we went through a lot from the very beginning, we knew exactly where we wanted to be and where we wanted to go. And we share the same vision. And that's why we really, no matter what we do along the way, we are always looking at that end goal. And that's what really, pushes us inside us.
When you are not working, which is a strange thing to say, because I'm cut out the same way 7 days a week. You're always thinking, creating. I get that part. But if you're not in that moment, what are some other common interests, things that you like to do together?
The thing is, we managed to really bring our work into our lifestyle. So even though we're working, it doesn't feel like we're working. But even though if we are like enjoying, having a good time, we are still talking about, oh my God, what about if we do this here? What about if we do this here? So it's really, I would say, the best, way to handle a marriage is really to blend all that together.
We were literally just on a friend's boat enjoying lunch, but at the same time being texted about our Airbnb business in Dubai, selling one of our apartments, and we're looking at the costings together and seeing how much we made and whether we should sell it. You know what I mean? While we're having the lunch and drinking and having a good time.
It was a party, literally lunch. So it's really about.
And like right now upstairs, my 3 teenagers are upstairs, and tonight we're off to another dinner. You see what I mean? And it's like we're working at the same time. So I don't separate. When people say work, what does it work like?
Work-life balance, yeah.
I don't even know how to say it.
Honestly,
work-life balance. No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't exist. It's BS. Find me somebody that no.
And even, for example, I don't know if you are like in a restaurant, we step out, take a call, come back. So it's really about blending all that together. So what we do when we, have some free time, I mean, we can have free time anytime, but we love exploring the world, traveling, and even though we're working while we travel, we really love to just visit new places, work out, and just trying to just
travel's our hobby.
Yeah. Do you by the time, I don't know, I'm like you, there's no sort of a delineation between work day and the weekend. It's my husband and I, we have 2 separate businesses too, but we talk about it all the time just because it comes naturally. And people would say, oh my God, I can't imagine going to dinner with you guys, but that's just who we are, right? We don't pretend. But so and then we find ourselves that by about Friday, it's more like the people that sort of drain us, right? The constant talking and we get on the couch, we watch Netflix, and we got our puppy there. And so not interested in going out with 3 couples, at 9 p.m. and have a big steak and 2 bottles of wine. somebody, I guess, could say we're not social. I don't look at it that way. But how about you guys? Do you like to socialize with other people? Does that
Go
recharge you?
I mean, we don't drink, to be honest, but we, because it's part of our business in a way, because it's really about really meeting people, connecting people, different things. So because it's different industries, so and there's always a new idea that can come out of a lunch. We are very social, and we always try to combine that.
We like to see our friends,
Yeah.
but when we get home, right now we're in Saint-Tropez, so this is the most social place
Yeah.
on earth.
We've been eating
We've been out,
lunch and dinner for
and
the last month and a half, every single day with different people.
and we're still turning things down.
Yeah.
We are still saying no to things. So, absolutely we do. But when we go home, we will literally shut the
Just-
door and not leave our house for the next 2 weeks. I know it, and then we don't want to see anyone.
And we travel a lot, so it's a bit hard for us, to be honest. I mean, we've been now on the go for a month and a bit. We come home now for a week and a half, then we go again, so it's always like, moving. But yeah, the time at home, it's just us, just enjoying, each other company and relaxing. But when we are traveling, depends on the location,
We
we,
love to see friends. We
you
have
know,
friends all over the world.
Yeah. Do your minds get sort of restless? You build a company and it's kind of coasting, and sure you have like opportunities to invest and build new ones, but do you find yourself to go, okay, we've accomplished that one. All right, what's next? Do you feel like that internal
Right.
push?
all the time.
And I'm trying to get to a stage now where I stop doing that, because
Yeah.
I'm like, what is enough? How many cars do you need? How many homes do you need? How many anything do you need? And actually we have so many friends that have, obviously built massive companies, and we're here right now, sitting around, most of them, and we go, God, we wouldn't trade our lives for
Literally.
anything.
And it's actually amazing and very powerful to look at your life and see, okay, I wouldn't trade my life for anything, even though they have so much more than us. I wouldn't trade it.
Well, we're in
you know.
Saint-Tropez, so you're never going to feel like the richest person here. I've never seen so
Right.
many yachts.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I thought I was doing well. Now I don't think I'm doing so well. And, and then I'm looking at it and I'm going, actually,
But honestly, it's really about the energy and
Yeah.
within what you have. Happiness, I always say, you can be here facing the ocean there, and the ocean can be black over there. And some people will just only see that, and some people will look at the view here, the blue. So it's just about how you see your perspective, how
we
you
feel
have in front.
rich in life.
So there's happiness is just inside here, and it's just about the view. You can look at that way and that way, but it's everybody, has happiness around them. It's just how
Yeah.
you make of it,
I think we get invited to so many things because we're such a unicorn relationship, and people are sort of fascinated. And they want to know if it really works, or if this is for the
Mhm.
gram or whatever it is, which I find bizarre because we've been
Yeah.
together 8 years anyway. I don't know how you do this for 8 years and pretend,
Yeah.
but okay.
But Caroline is very like, we are very like, I'm like very like Caroline, like we can't swim in the ocean. Like even if you put us in a, I don't know, whatever table, we will make it
We'll
work.
rule it by the end.
We'll rule it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's just I guess we just really work well together.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. Actually, this was before my husband. I was in a long-term relationship, not marriage, and it was an 18-year difference. And so he was 46. So yeah, I mean, I was like, in my mid-20s. I didn't feel like some sort of generational difference. I mean, he was very active. We shared a lot, common interest in music, but it was that the question would come up like, what's different? Why not focus on what brought you together? Obviously you got this figured out, and there's this fascination with it. And I think that's, again, who cares? And I love your energy, and that your mind never sleeps. And I take it as you are a creator by nature, not necessarily I must have more.
No, creator.
Yeah.
But imagine you've done it the normal way round. I'm the older one, so that creates
You're
even
right.
more pressure.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it was very tough from the beginning. We
Was
really,
it?
we really built this amazing foundation.
Yeah, I guess, people don't understand it unless they are in your shoes. Plus you're on a spotlight, right? Trying to protect the relationship and focus on it, and then dealing with whatever you guys have to deal with. Yeah, that must have not been easy. And here you are.
Here we are,
Mhm.
still here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So right now we are building
Sumi hotels.
Izumi hotels in Bali. We're building in Pemba. So we're doing about $54 million worth of real estate right now. We have an Airbnb business. I built a hair salon in Dubai with the #1. She just won best colorist of North America.
Wow.
What else have we got?
We have a marketing agency
Yeah.
in Dubai.
And Stanbury Retreats, which is my favorite thing to do.
All the retreats.
So
Yeah.
we do sort of a big business retreats for women just like yourself and myself, and we go away and we think tank together. So I didn't really set out for it to become as popular as it has, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
We're on our 5th one now, going to the Maldives in November, and the women that show up, wow.
No, they're fantastic.
I was going to ask you about that. What actually happens out there?
What do we do? Okay, so we get there. So it depends, which one you're on. I've done ones about divorce, but the next one's about business. It's for business women.
Yeah.
So it's very high net. I mean, it's a high ticket. So it's you get the very luxury experience. We're all going to this private island in the Maldives. We did it before and it was just so popular, actually. We had a wait list. So we were like, let's do it again. And then everybody comes and we have sort of, I don't know, like a think tank where we all get together. Everyone says what drew them there more than anything and what businesses they're in. And the cross-pollination of the women has been amazing. Some women have started business together. Some women had massive businesses that they've sold and now what's next? There's a lot of some women are at tipping point. Some women have made, millions of dollars and they don't want to go back into the rat race, but they're not ready to retire. And so there's just, it's a sort of,
It's a lot of like workshops,
Yeah.
different experiences, activities, and it's really out of, I would say, it's disconnecting from your day-to-day life and reconnecting with each other on a different environment. So
And
we
me-
really, take them out of the comfort zone on a very luxurious,
way.
way.
And meeting like-minded people, because if you follow me and you're into business, we're kind of all the same.
Yeah.
You've got something in common already. And it's sort of taking yourself out of your normal comfort zone and getting answers from women that have nothing to gain from telling you the truth. And I think that's very powerful because sometimes friends, no matter how good they are, have an agenda. Whether in a relationship, for whatever reason, some women don't want to see you get ahead. Some women, rather you stayed where you were. All of these things. So to be in a room full of women that only have, your best interest at heart, because it's nothing on them. You don't have to see them again, and they don't have to see you again if you don't want to. But if you do, there's a lot of friendships made there in that room.
Businesses, friendships,
Yeah.
There's so many things that come out of it. There's
Yeah.
so many synergies within the room, and somehow the women feel safe.
Yeah.
That's what we've seen. Because I'm there with the team behind the scenes, and I see how women arrive and how they,
How they leave.
and it's beautiful for us to see that because it's really transformational in many ways. And you can apply that to relationship, to personal growth, to business. So it's really just about
And also we do it a different way because I think a lot of people have come up to me saying, wow, it's been so powerful because it's been so, it's not in a way of going back to in your childhood and, what made you this way and healing. We don't do that.
It's all moving forward from where you are now and where you want to be.
And how to connect the dots.
And Caroline is very good at analyzing the situation and mapping out exactly the steps to get to where you want to go.
And lots of times, by the way, some of the missing puzzle, that woman's in that room.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great perspective. Digging through history. I mean, if it gives you clue into sort of getting unstuck, I'm all for it. But to stay in it, I don't see how that serves you. So I love it. It sounds like it's very action oriented and it sort of honors who you truly are and you're able to reveal who you are. You take the mask off, you don't know anybody and that's how you tap into true potential because you may be doing the same thing over and over thinking, well, I'm successful, but there's something there that I'm still missing. And somebody else in that group in that retreat might be able to unlock that for you or help
I
you.
know this person. I can introduce you.
Yeah.
I can help you. Oh my God, that's what I do. I grew my business from here to here. That's exactly it.
And the
That's
women
exactly
come
it.
so open to connect and grow.
Because all
It
of
is
you are in the
amazing.
same position. Everyone's there's nervous, including myself, by the way. I don't know anyone either, obviously. You know, when I'm in that room, it's all, we're all the same. And that's a very sort of humbling place to be.
Wow. I can picture myself there. I can feel the
Well, we've got
energy.
room for you. Hurry up.
We'll have to definitely talk about that. So, and you two, you are building, tell me about this hotel. That has to be different.
Yeah, so
Oh my
basically,
God.
I mean, we are doing, it's a very unique concept. It's all about wellness and longevity. It's a boutique luxury.
Experience.
All about experiences, different rooms, different scenarios inside. It's all about feelings and emotions. And we are also launching residences, so we're gonna do residences as well, next to the ocean, which are gonna be beautiful.
If we didn't have enough to do, this was just something we
Yeah.
love hotels, we love experiences, we love meeting people.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, Sergio and I came back from Bali. We're like, let's buy this land. This was about 2 years ago. And here we are. And we're on some sort of a journey together. And it's been quite amazing, actually.
Yeah.
We're doing about 18 rooms. Every room is going to, so you've got like one cave room. You've got one room that looks like the Beverly Hills Hotel. It sounds nuts, but actually, trust me.
It's gonna be very special. To be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah.
And you're not done.
We are not done.
We're just getting started.
You're
Literally.
just getting started. Oh, this is wow. This is amazing. Now you guys have dogs. We talked about earlier. Tell me about your pups.
Oh my gosh, he's absolutely crazy with
Well,
dogs.
we've got nuts. Like me, I can't have a normal dog. So we've just got a brand new, I don't know what you know what they look like, a Brussels Griffon from, have you ever seen the movie As Good as It Gets?
Yes.
And they've got upside down
It's
face.
possibly the ugliest thing in the planet, but it's so cute at the
How
same
dare
time.
you? How dare you? If he wasn't ugly enough, he's now got one protruding tooth. You've got to pull it up. You've got to get them a picture of Walter. He's
Oh.
called Walter, gorgeous. Then we have Chloe, a poodle, and then we
Oh.
have Bella, that we call the dog without emotions because she doesn't do any at all. She's like just having a fluffy rug in the house. But they are very, very funny. I've got to show you Walter just because you won't quite believe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually Walter.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you gotta love that face. Come on. Come
No,
on.
we have a normal. This is like Chloe. So we have many different ones. Yeah, they're very
And then
cute.
we have a tortoise called Bubbles, and he lives free in our house. So our house is nuts. He sleeps with the dogs.
It's a very, very happy. I would say, one of the things that we love, Carol, I mean, we feel the energy of places, people, very strong. So we really make sure that the environment and the, that
we
we
live
are and we live in is a very happy, very good energy because it helps you to grow as
Yeah.
people,
Yeah, we never feel as happy as we do when we're at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was born and raised in Europe, raised by a single mom, and so we were in that one of those back then. This was doing a socialism, so you didn't have much, and we were on the 10th floor. So she said the dog would be stuck in a house, so we never had one, and so I never really experienced that. And it wasn't until when I got with my husband, who had a little sort of a fluff ball, it started growing on me, and then unfortunately he was ill, and so we lost him several years ago, and got a Havanese, another white fluff ball Hudson, and I have never felt anything like that. It's just that they mirror your energy, and there's something so pure because they're so utterly dependent on you.
Yes. Yes, that's why I can't imagine people being so horrible to some dogs. It's insane.
No. Yeah.
But they're the best friends you can have, for sure.
Well, and they
had-
don't talk back. So
Yeah. See, my husband wants a baby. I'd rather have a dog.
well, okay. All right. So on that topic, Sergio, so you came into Caroline's life and her house with 3 children. What was that like for you?
That was amazing. I mean, because I love kids and I love family. So for me, I'm coming from a big family. I have 51 cousins, from my
Can you
dad's side.
imagine?
So it's
Wow.
my dad's, they're like 9 brothers, 1 sister. So
Ridiculous.
it's a big family. So I love
Yeah.
kids in general. So for me, the more the better, and I hate quiet houses. I just love noise, and Caroline loves that
We have a
too.
very noisy house because
Yeah.
every weekend all the teenagers descend on my house, which I wish they wouldn't. But
Yeah.
anyway, for whatever reason, we have the cool house.
So it's great, and I mean, obviously it's not the normal way I was thinking my life was gonna go, because obviously I was gonna build a family. I already got the kids already grown up, so
What are you
you know
thinking?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But honestly, they're amazing, and actually now I really get to enjoy them because I've been already with them like 8 years. So now, they are like, I mean, not my age, but we have a lot of like things
They're the
in
same size,
the
which
same
is
size,
crazy.
which is the same
Share
size,
clothes with my boys.
which is crazy. But we really get to talk and enjoy each other, and it's amazing. For me, it's like they're my friends, and I love
Wow.
that. And then, for talking about the baby, the possible baby, I don't know. I'm not sure yet, to be honest. We have a embryo, created, so it's there.
We have the possibility, but we go up and down because
We are,
we have some.
yeah,
We have a selfish life now.
we're thinking, to be honest. I mean, she's absolutely my soulmate, and I love her, with everything. So, and I love our life together. So, and I'm very given. I know if you put any human in front of me, I will just make sure it's okay all the time.
And
So
then I'm going to be jealous.
if the baby, is there, so
I'm getting older. I'm
Yeah.
going to become his baby. Let's face it.
unless I had,
Put me in a pram.
unless I had the baby here in Carolina, take care of both of them at the
Uh,
same time, it'd be tough. So let's see.
yeah, yeah. You know, there is as you're talking about kind of like moving, we're not getting older now. See, now we're getting wiser and we're moving, through life. And I think it was Jim Rohn who said, you take care of me for you, and I take care of me, and I take care of me for you. And I think it's so tender and beautiful. And that's kind of that's how I look at life right now. Is that's really kind of what it matters. You will not always have the great day, right? I mean, shitty day, and you're not feeling well, and if that person's there, and the other thing is, I believe that we're each complete as we are. That I don't know. How do you feel about this saying? To me, that's just doesn't make sense when people say we complete each other. I actually think that's sad to say.
Oh, that we're all complete on our own. Yeah, I mean, I can understand what they mean in a way, like because you become whole with the other person. But you're right. I feel I don't also like that feeling that you're not good enough on your own. Like, God forbid anything happens to us. I always
Yeah.
say I would want him to be fine and for me to be fine, if need be. If one of us needed to be alone, you'd be able to. He's waving his finger. He hates it already. He wants me to. He says if I die, he's going with me.
Yeah,
So, which
yeah.
would be tragic.
Would be
So
absolutely
I feel like the person should be your cherry, not the cake. But he
Mm.
feels like this world is his everything.
I believe everything is for a reason, and actually I was watching the football yesterday, and I never understood why my career took such a big way into a different kind of like destination. And, I was meant to be in that place because if not, I will never make Caroline, to be honest. And that's the truth. I will never be in the US playing. I was going to be in, I don't know, in a top team in Spain, and my life would be completely different. So it is interesting how life and circumstances just switch into
Puts you where you need to be.
what's meant to for you, and I think a lot of people can relate to that because I mean it happens all the time, when you think something horrible is happening to you, but in reality it's moving towards where you're meant to go.
So you were open to it, and it just sort of unfolded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're open to things, as soon as things happen to you, could be good or bad, there is only good that can come out of it, and some of the best things it comes because of that. And I think, because I honestly say 10 times not to be in the place where Caroline was, and I ended up saying yes, and then my life changed completely. So, it's really about,
My mother always taught me that say yes to everything.
yeah,
You
adjusting.
never know where you're going to end up.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's why in a way we go to a lot of things that we maybe don't need to be there, but we kind of like push ourselves to be there because, a lot of business opportunities and ideas came out, of those situations.
And I'm sure that as much or as well as you sort of rose and grew and created their setbacks, I mean, almost like you become stronger going through it. Was there something that you said yes to you wish you didn't?
Well, I mean, the setbacks I've had, I mean, I lost a very big business, and coming out of that, I was sued for 8 years by a civil liquidator, not a partner or anything like that, but I won everything in the end, because the whole tactic is to wear you down until you give up. They sort of serve you, then they go away for a year, then they come back, and they think that, by doing that, you'll just give them all your money, which is something, if you've ever met me, I'm not going to do. So I fought all the way and won. But so that was one of the worst times of my life. And I think, lots of times you want to give up. And that's what, I lost so much money through that. And I've always said to people, don't give up, because if it would have been so easy for me to have just crawled under a rock and not do it again. And, think that I couldn't move on because I hadn't got any money left, and I couldn't leave my ex-husband because what was I going to do financially, and all of these things. And I'm bigger and I'm better and I'm richer and I'm stronger than I was then. And I'm tough as old boots. And what I will say to people is, on your darkest day, just know one phone call or one decision or one person can change the directory of your entire life. And actually, when I started the retreats, and a couple of the women couldn't really afford the ticket, but pushed themselves to come. At the beginning, I was like, oh, it really stuck with me, because I'm like, I find it hard to take that money from, there was one girl in particular, I was really quite upset that she had spent it on this. And then actually I walked away and I was like, she got quite a lot out of it, because she got connections, she got direction. She got
a few chapters in her life that actually did push her
to do, because she's backed into a corner. And I think actually I changed my own perspective on it, because that's what I'm telling everyone to do. Not just my retreat. I mean, put yourself out, make the phone call. You've got to push yourself into something different, or you'll always be exactly where you are, feeling sorry for yourself. Actually, I'm quite impressed she did it, because it took balls of steel to get on that plane, fly halfway across the world, and really put yourself into a very vulnerable position. And then come out of it and go, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this for myself. And, there are two ways of looking at life, you see. And actually, that's kind of what I've done. I didn't take the easy route. I went off and put myself back in the game.
And you grew through it and stronger.
And sometimes just meeting, I get a lot of women that come and go, oh, well, my problem's so huge, you're never going to be able to help me, right? But then they meet other women who've been through far worse. Let me tell you, when we do this round table, we all get to know each other, far worse, and come out of it, that they go, oh shit, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. I can do this.
Yeah, I'm not alone, and maybe
I'm not alone.
And then turning sort of around that feeling of victimhood, because that's the story you may have been telling yourself, is by broadening that perspective and going, oh, I guess they don't see me that way. And okay, I'll write a different chapter.
Yeah, there's not as much sympathy coming forward, because when you live in the same town and people know you for so long, they've judged you all those years. It doesn't matter if you made $10 million, changed your name, redone your hair, they still know you as that person back then. So they're never going to give you that chance. Whereas here you come and it's like having a clean slate and nobody knows anybody. So you can kind of, when you tell your story, you get the real reaction, and then you listen to everyone else's, and actually your story isn't as bad as you thought. And you're like, I'd rather have my story than her story. And that kind of helps too.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Sergio, what about you? Was there tough situation, a setback, and where you rose and got through it and feel like you're, you know, stronger?
Oh my God, I would say the biggest one in my life when everybody told me not to, but I broke the contract with Real Madrid because I was not playing and I was not happy. And, you know, no one really thought it was a good idea. And I said, look, I'm ready to put my socks back and go back to work. Because easily I could have just gone playing, you know, in Europe in another team. But my ego was too big, and you know, I didn't want to. You know, I was just, you know, I was 19 years old. I didn't want to play there, so that I was like, look, I'm gonna go back and just moved to the US, and I cannot rebuild myself again in a way. You know, I tried to play. I mean, I played everywhere. It was, you know, in Los Angeles, in New York, in Pittsburgh, in Iceland, in
Wow.
Las Vegas. I literally used my name to travel the world and try to be back to that amazing player that I was in Real Madrid. But mentally, I wasn't there. I couldn't do it. But I really worked so hard to try to get back. And you know, it's very interesting because I never give up. But in the process of giving up, you know, I found so many other different, you know, opportunities, and it was because I never gave up, and I kept fighting and fighting, and then on that process, you know, I went into another business, another thing, and then I met Caroline. So, you know, it's very interesting how maybe that was not my destiny, you know, and you know, even though I really thought, you know, and actually everybody told me I was going to be this massive, huge star in football, you know, because I got to the first team, and then I was with Nike, all these crazy things. It was kind of like taken away from me in a way, very quickly and fast. You know, at the age of like 22, 23, when still I was very young, even though I was playing from 15, which, you know, I think I was a bit, you know, kind of like tired inside me of the whole soccer world. I could have easily play until 30. But, you know, my life changed completely, and you know, I don't want to say I touched rock bottom, but you know, I was back to work again. You know, in many ways, you know, in football, in like, you know, business, entrepreneurial side, you know, so many ideas. I'm so creative, and on the way, I really, you know, kind of like found my way again. So you know, it was just, I don't know, no one knows if that was the best decision, but I really think it was the best decision of my life, because even though no one felt that way, I felt that way, and I stick to it. And, um, you know, I would say it's just really about your inner happiness and your inner self and how you feel, you know, because, you know, I knew that that was just, it was not what I wanted, you know. And now, the same as Caroline, I'm the, you know, the happiest I've ever been, the most successful I've ever been. I mean, I really cannot wish for anything else. So, you know, it's just amazing how the omelette just switched completely, and all of a sudden it's just slowly turning back, but the other's way around.
Yeah, you used the word happiness a few times, and I think it feels like you are content with
Mhm.
where you are, and it feels, you are aligned with what you're meant to be, where you're meant to be, instead of resisting, right? It was like you accepted the reality, and I think that's a problem probably too, is, you know, resisting, trying to change things, whereas you can't. Sometimes you don't have the control. So
Yeah.
just letting and then allowing, and then just, you know, it pivots you somewhere else.
Yeah, because exactly, I think that's, you know, I don't think it's right to say that you cannot give up, but I think it's right to say that you have to keep working hard until the moment that you know that you've done everything in your hand possible to
Yes.
get back, but you can't. So then, you know, what are the options that you have
Acceptance.
where you are?
A lot of people don't know acceptance, and you had
Yeah.
acceptance.
So you need to fight for it before, you know, you need to, you know, really, you know, push.
It's
And,
not
you
about,
know,
yeah,
because
giving up easily.
people spend like 10, 20 years like really pushing and pushing for something that is just never gonna work.
Right.
So you need to really analyze the situation where you are and say, okay, look, I've been doing it for the last 5 years. I'm not there. How, where can I go? Like, what did I learn that allow me to switch?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. No, look, that's a powerful stuff, you know, that continues to build the foundation, and you have that, and um letting go, right? And then just kind of not taking, I've learned also not taking things personally, like I said, it's generally about the other person, unless I am causing, the harm or something. But generally it's okay. They can react how they want to react. It's nothing to do with me. And then just accepting and being open. So this has been such an enjoyable conversation. As we wind down, what else is there that you would like, our viewers and listeners to know? First, Caroline, how do they find out about your retreats?
It's carolinestanbury.com, but just on my
It's just
Instagram.
the easiest way. Honestly, just go to Caroline's Instagram profile on the link.
Click on the link.
Then you have everything there.
Okay.
Yeah, and join us. And really, that's the most powerful, fun thing that I'm doing right now that you can get involved in, because the hotels and everything else we're building is being built. So can't come and stay yet, but hopefully you will one day. But so join us on a retreat and come visit us.
Mhm.
Definitely. And it will be in the show notes. I'll link to it. And again, thank you so much. Really enjoyed this conversation, and thank you for so generously and just authentically sharing your story.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, to our viewers and listeners, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beyond Your Bar podcast. And until next time, stay curious and stay inspired.